Alright, what's up everybody? AJ here. So I'm going to do a quick video on a wood stove light, and this is a little different than I've ever done them in my life. So I'm doing this with using hemp stock, and so here you go. Since I was doing a video on hemp the other day, and I just kind of wanted to see actually for myself, this is, you know, true hemp stock. I mean, it is fat hemp stock, very fat hemp stock. And it's actually fairly wet. This is we've had snow here, and so it's a little bit of wet because this was just laying on the ground, and so I just kind of want to see how this stuff takes off. That you can see here, hopefully, you know how fibrous this stuff is, and how you can really get some good strands of fiber off this stuff. So I want to see how this works to light a fire, and I've got a little bit of wet cedar here that I'm going to put with it just because I want to see how the wet cedar burns. And then I'll have to clean out my chimney afterwards, of course. But I'm going to throw in quite a bit of this hemp stock just because I want this to burn really hot, really fast. We've got some coals down in there already. I just want to see this take off in a hurry, hopefully. I'll throw a little bit of newspaper in there, or some kind of paper anyways, after I get this kind of stacked into there. And try to get this, I don't know if you all can tell, but that is some really wet stuff there. I mean, you see the filth coming off on my fingers, so we'll see how that stuff does. I'll stick it, the really wet stuff, over to the side so it can get, some of the moisture off of it, hopefully. And take some stuff over there. This is not a typical way I would build a fire. This is just a way that I'm playing with right now because of all this hemp stock I want to burn up. And I want to see how hot it burns and how fast it burns, because some of that is really, truly thick stuff. So we'll get some of that in there. And let me grab a couple more pieces of cedar from over here. And we'll just see how this goes. Worst case scenario, burns out fast, doesn't do much. Best case scenario, I actually get a good fire out of this. I'm going to say I'm going to get a good fire out of it, just judging by what it looks like. So I use that little stick there to kind of make me a little hole there in between. Like I said, there's some good coals back there, but not very many of them. It was a beautiful day today, so my wife let it burn out so we could clean the box out. Kept a handful of coals in there because that's just kind of what I like to do, just in case. It's just a lot easier to start it with nice coals, whether you use paper or not. If you got some nice coals, it will take longer sometimes depending on the type of fire you burn, but pretty much you make it start a good fire if you got a couple little coals and some pocket lint or anything. You can start a really easy fire. So I'm going to use 4 pieces of paper here, just to kind of kick this off, see what happens, and then I'll resituate the fire as it's burning and kind of go from there. I've got my Bushcraft Survival fire starter here. It's a big lighter. That's the best fire starter you could ever have, so keep plenty of those on hand. Now, once this gets going a little bit and kind of gets back in that cubby there, I'll take and, see that it's burning into that cubby, and I'll take some of these and start pushing them up around that fire a little bit. Most people probably should wear gloves, be the best bet. I grab this crap all the time, and you just kind of get used to it. Or if your hands are in decent shape, you can grab that type of stuff all the time. And if you're a male, you won't have no hair on your hands anymore, so it's kind of nice. So anyways, once it gets going, I prop the door way more than it needs to be. It has a way to prop it, but I like to make it sound like a rocket when it takes off. That way I know the fire is going really fast, really good. And let's just see. I'll show you guys my stove door I made. Well, my wife and I made. So the glass broke out on us, and so I took my plasma cutter and cut those shapes into it to cover all the breaks in the glass, is what that shape was. And it works good enough, and it looks pretty cool when you got a really good fire going in it. So I was gonna buy a new door for it, but it was like, I think the door for this is a Blaze Queen stove. They got Blaze King, Blaze Queen. This is like the Queen because it's medium size. I think they were like $300-400, and so I thought, well, I got a plasma cutter and I got a welder. I'll just make me a little cover for it, and so we got a little creative instead of covering it up. Plus, I like to see the fire. We'll order a new door this year, because even after I did that, as you can see, the glass started cracking again later on. So we need a new door either way. Just my thoughts on a Blaze King or a Queen. They're a pretty damn good stove. They have like a catalytic converter basically up in the top of them. So once you get this burning to the proper temperature, there's a handle on the right hand side that you flip to the back, which closes it off, and it's got another damper that you can close down. And once this is up to the right temperature, the fan kicks on. You got your burn indicator up on the stovepipe, right up there actually, and so that burn indicator will show you when it's good to go ahead and do that type of thing. You know, when you close it down really good and still get a really good burn, because that catalytic converter, once you close this down really good and tight, it takes that smoke and reburns it somehow, and it really just makes your coals and your heat go a lot further in life. So it's a good stove to have, I think, anyways. So I'll show you real quick, but here we go. Here's the handle. Flip it back to close it, flip it forward to open it up all the way. This is another damper that you can turn this way, all the way down to open it all the way up, shut her down to adjust how much heat or smoke you want out of this thing. And once this thing's going, they burn super efficiently. Sorry about the ugly look right there. I've got all this stuff just kind of piled there, and I gotta get it cleaned up before my wife gets home or gets done doing chores. But anyway, so you can see we got a really good burn here. That's all off hemp stock and fairly wet cedar. There was a couple pieces of dry cedar I had over there, and that stuff took off like crazy. And funny enough, you get a little bit of smoke out of it here and there, but very little. However, with that being said, I'm gonna throw on a hoodie and run outside. I'm kind of interested to see what the smoke smells like, so I'll take y'all along with me. Sorry about the mess. We are in the middle of tons and tons of reconstruction, or remodeling reconstruction, because we are trying to get several rooms done before the new grandbaby gets here. And if I don't like it, I'll just delete this part of the video. There's the wheelbarrow. The last of it needs to get hauled in. And depending on which way the wind's coming. Do I, hon? Hang on.
Never mind.
All right. So I can't really tell, but I almost get a faint smell of it. I'll have my wife go over there and take a smell here in a little bit, and we'll just see if she picks it up. If so, I'll put it in the comments. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.